Hello everyone, welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. In this video, we will see how is the Indian President elected. Okay, this is in news because the process of electing India's President, we will be electing our President again in the month of July 2022. Okay, the President Shri Ramnath Kovind would be resigning and he would be completing his term of 5 years, and in the month of July this year, we will have presidential elections happening in India, because of which we will be discussing this particular issue. How is the President of India elected? Let's try knowing it. Article 54 of the Constitution says that the Indian President is elected through electoral college system. Okay, Article 54 of the Constitution defines how the President has to be elected. Okay, and this electoral college, what is the meaning of this electoral college? Who are the parts of this electoral college? It consists of, you can see here, the electoral college consists of the elected members of Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, and also the elected members of legislative assemblies of states and union territories. Okay, the elected members of Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, that is the lower house and the upper house, and also the elected members of state legislative assemblies of states and union territories. See, here you can see two union territories that has legislature. One is the union territory of NCR, that is Delhi, and also Pondicherry. Okay, these two union territories have legislative assemblies, and the elected members of these legislative assemblies will take part in the election of President. Okay, the elections are conducted and overseen by Election Commission of India. Okay, this is what is the information regarding the process of election. Let's see how is the election conducted. Unlike the election for Member of Parliament and Member of Legislative Assembly, the presidential election has a process called as proportional representation, okay, or preferential voting, which means electors have to assign the preference to the candidates. Okay, this is called as preferential voting system. This is not present with respect to the election of MP and MLA. MP and MLA, we will have one vote we have to cast. Here the preference has to be given. The total electors will be 4,896, which will involve 543 Lok Sabha MPs, 233 MPs of Rajya Sabha. Remember, here the nominated members of Parliament are not included. It includes only the elected members of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. 4,120 MLAs, including the National Territory of Delhi and the Union Territory of Puducherry. So total there will be 4,896 members or the electors present in the electoral college, which will elect the President of India. And when the President has to take part in the nomination process in the sense when the President will give his application, okay, will give his application to the Election Commission and say that I am interested in conducting the elections, I am interested in taking part in the presidential elections. So during this process of nomination, candidate has to have 50 proposers and 50 seconders, which means 50 people or 50 electors of the electoral college should sign stating that this particular candidate who is aspiring to become the President of India has our support, and 50 people who are called as seconders has to give their support before the election itself. Okay, only if this is present, the nomination is accepted. These proposers and seconders should be a part of this 4,896 member council, or which is also called as electoral college, which elects the President of India. What is the value of one vote? See, when we vote for an MP or an MLA, the value of one vote is 1 unit. Okay, this is simple to understand. But when it comes to the presidential election, it is not that way. Okay, the fixed value of each vote by an MP of Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha is 708. So one vote is equal to 708 in value. Okay, 1 unit of vote or 1 vote is equal to the value of 708 of the Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha MPs. But what is the value of the State Legislative Assembly, the MLAs for that matter, elected members of State Legislative Assembly? See here, the value of each MLA, is decided by a formula where we will have to divide the population and the number of members in its legislative assembly. Okay, this is a formula to decide what is the value of 1 vote of an MLA. Uttar Pradesh for its instance has a value of 208 for 1 vote. Maharashtra has 175, while the Arunachal Pradesh has just 8. Or for example, to make you understand better, I would say the value of vote of 1 MLA of UP is greater than the value of vote of 1 MLA of Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, because the value that we get is the ratio of the population and the number of state legislative assembly seats present in that state. Okay, take an example of Telangana here. Let's take an example to make you understand better. The number of assembly seats is 119 and the population according to 1971 census is 15.7 million or 1.57 crore. Okay, here the value of vote of 1 MLA is got when we divide the population with the total number of seats and you multiply it by 1000. So the ultimate value that you get is 132 and this will be the value of 1 vote of an MLA belonging to the state of Telangana. Okay. So the total value of all the state MLAs, we have 119 state MLAs and all the state MLAs put together, the total value of vote would be 15,708. Okay, I hope you have understood this. Total value of votes. See, we have seen the total value of vote of MPs of Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. We have seen the value of all the MLAs. Okay, then what is the total? Finally, when we add all the MPs, which is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, the total number of votes of Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha MPs, 708 is the value, 776 is the total number of MPs we have, elected MPs from both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, and 776 into 708 will give you 5,59,408. This will be the value of votes of member of parliament. All MLAs put together. Okay, now we have seen MPs, that is member of parliament. Let's see the total value of vote of all the MLAs put together. All the legislative assemblies put together, the total amount of vote value or the value of vote will be 5,49,495. Okay, so the total vote, both member of parliament and the member of legislative assemblies combined, the total vote would be 10,98,903. Okay, this will be the value of total vote. See, from the prelims examination point of view, you're not supposed to remember all these values. These values I'm telling you just to make you understand it better. You are not required to remember these values. And when it comes to mains examination, the maximum question that UPSC can ask is the procedure of the election and not these values. These values are, I'm just telling you to make you understand the process of election. And one thing that you have to remember from this is the value of vote of all the MPs is same, but not MLAs. MLAs belonging to different states will have different values of vote. Okay, that is one statement from the prelims point of view that you are supposed to remember. Okay, how is the winner decided? Now we have seen the electoral college, we have seen the total value of the vote of MP and also an MLA. Now let's see how is the voter or a winner decided. The winner is decided by this formula. Look at this formula. The total number of valid votes polled by the number of presidential candidate that has to be elected, that is 1. We need just one president, plus 1. This plus 1 will be 2, which means the total number of valid votes polled divided by 2 plus 1 will give the total amount of vote that has to be acquired by a particular candidate in order to get selected or elected as the president. Okay. EC, the election commission, totals up all the valid votes that are polled, and that valid votes are divided by 2, that is 50%, and 1 is added to it, and if this amount of vote is got, then that particular candidate is declared as the president. If suppose in the entire process, if there are any disputes, if there is any grievances, then who is the deciding authority? Who decides it? We have seen the election commission is the authority to regulate and monitor the election, but who is the authority who solves the disputes? Okay, you can see the Supreme Court of India is the body or the organ of the governance which will look into any disputes that are arising from the election procedure of president and vice president. Okay, the election of a person as a president cannot be challenged on the ground that the electoral college was incomplete. Very important point to remember from the prelims point of view. And the Supreme Court is a body whose decision is final with respect to any disputes regarding the election process. I hope you have liked the video. For more such enriching content, please subscribe to Legacy IAS Academy. Have a nice day. Thank you.